but they could do
Yeah,
something. Maybe use with fentanyl. Call it half dead.
that took a twist. Let's not do that. Welcome back to Trees and Space Show, the show where we confidently stumble through cinema history, guided by fan opinion, warped nostalgia, and our own hot takes. This week, Jason and I watched the 1998 rated R comedy Half Baked, the story of how a horse named Buttercup indirectly launched a small business. I'm your host for this episode, Nate Hanks, and with me is a man who would absolutely say, "Trust me," right before I end up having to talk to Samson, Jason Smith.
I don't recall the Samson character in the show, but hi everyone.
You don't know who Samson is?
In the movie?
Yeah, the dude in the wheelchair.
Oh yeah, that was his name. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. I didn't realize it was rated R either. I can't think why it would be.
Drugs. There's titty.
No, I've never seen a
Uh,
titty. I've never seen booties.
you didn't see how did you watch this movie? Did you watch the correct Half Baked?
I have no idea. I remember Dave Chappelle. I remember a bunch of naked dudes in the freaking shower scene. But
Okay, but not the fight
um,
towards the end of the movie with the
I remember them fighting. Yeah, and then she had the nunchucks, and he bit her leg, and they rolled around the ground, and
she's on top of
uh,
him and her boobs out.
oh yeah, I guess I might have looked away at that point in time. The movie
Well,
did not keep my attention.
clearly. Let me just go ahead and I guess tell you all at home what Jason missed. When a member of their crew gets arrested for killing a New York City police horse by feeding it junk food, three slackened stoners are forced to get off their butts and raise bail by selling pot stolen from a pharmaceutical lab. It's a risky plan, but hey, these are stand-up guys who would do anything to help out a friend in need.
Yeah, yeah, that's this premise, and I think if I saw right, that did Dave Chappelle actually write this screen? I think he did. He wrote the
I
screenplay. Like,
believe based off of some of the comments I went through that he has some writing credit to this. So I
okay.
believe yeah, he's responsible for a little bit of it.
So, because they were I like the very beginning as he's like doing the voiceover talking about the first time he smoked dope, and
Old James.
yeah, he's like this guy's in L. James, L. James. I don't even know an old James. He wasn't there or whatever, so he disappears. That was funny. I did
He's like,
enjoy that a lot. That laughed pretty
ah,
hard. And then of course they smoke dope and they go into the 7-Eleven and all sorts of like, and I'm just like. I've partaked on occasion, and I've
yeah.
never had anything close to that happen to me.
Um, I've had the slow motion effect happen to me
Hmm.
where it feels like you're going so slow and everything else is like just zooming past you.
Okay.
I've never envisioned a superhero next to me or being in a giant frosty cup or a
Because you're
slushy
really
cup.
hot or really thirsty.
Right.
Yeah.
Or Abba Zaba being bigger than I am and biting off a big
Hmm.
old piece. Like that's never happened. But like,
That was
cereal tasting amazing. Absolutely, that's happened. And like
yeah.
my best friend at the time seeing a dog in his front yard and being freaking out because his dad's gonna be mad because there's a dog in the front yard. But like, those are fun
No, they're going
times.
through. I did enjoy their they lived together and they had the four different jobs. One
Yep.
was a school teacher,
Hmm.
respectable. They all have respectable jobs, one the custodian. But the cook, what's his name? Scarface.
Scarface.
Like, because he says, order number two, whatever, whatever. And the guy goes, I'm right behind you. You ain't got to yell over the or whatever,
Why
the
are you gonna
intercom or
talk to me like
whatever.
I'm inferior, B?
Yeah. I was like, that was freaking funny. And that one dude, Jim
Brewer,
with,
yeah, Kenny.
yeah, Kenny. Uh, he plays that part pretty well. He plays a baked, you know, person very well. And one part where Chappelle says, you have smoked yourself stupid or something like that.
You have smoked
So, yeah,
yourself retarded, I believe is
yeah,
the
that's what it
actual
was.
quote
Yes,
from this movie.
and uh, and I swear I've heard you say something like that before. Like I think
You
you've quoted this movie a few times.
I am fairly certain I have quoted this movie a lot. Um, one part I I'm gonna start going off some quote lines and stuff, but one thing when they visit was it Brian? Or no, Kenny's in jail. Brian is the other one, the one that was working at the record store, and
Hmm.
that's Sarah Silverman's sister, by the way, that leaves
I
with
can see
him.
that.
Um, but he's like, I'm gonna do what everybody thinks I'm gonna do, man, and he freaked out.
What-
Freaking love it. But
That's Jerry Maguire though.
I know, but it's funnier coming out
Okay,
of Jim Brewer.
because when he
Uh,
said that, I was like, I know this saying. I'm like, is this where this comes from? That I know the scene. And then he goes, who's coming with me? I'm like, oh, he's doing Jerry Maguire.
yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Uh,
that's what getting. She goes, I'll go with you. No,
you want to be my girlfriend? No, I'm
I'm
big
a huge
gay.
dyke.
Yeah.
I'm a huge dyke.
What's that like, man?
Jan, be my girlfriend?
I would, but I'm gay, you know. I'm a big dyke.
What's that like?
And then from like there on out, from the rest of the movie, if you notice, whenever those two are on camera, Brian is just like rubbing her shoulders or like handing her a
Yes.
joint. Like he's always just like trying to be a little bit more than friends with her, which I think is cute. But
Hmm.
when they go visit Kenny in jail, and they're like, we just need to raise 10% of 1 million, which
Yeah.
by our calculations is in fucking possible, man. And
Yeah.
Brian and Scarface are laughing, and Thurgood's just like,
Yeah, yeah, that was great
we're gonna
because
get
he
you out of
says,
here, man.
he goes, so how long you had? I goes, how long can you hold out? He goes, maybe 5, 6:30.
They
And then
laugh.
he goes, show us your mean face. Just your mean face. Going, I'll just like, that's scary. You'll be fine. I mean, there's a really funny part to this movie.
There is, and I think the other part to it too is the if you know your different kinds of smokers and people that are the traveling of the green, there
Hmm.
are people exactly like this.
Yes, I know, and
Um,
I think a lot of smokers are a mixture of everyone because I know I've seen parts of these different smokers in you, especially like the what's his name, John Stewart's character.
oh
Have you
yeah,
seen
have
a
you
twenty
ever
dollar
seen the
bill?
back of a $20 bill?
But have you seen it
Yeah.
high?
Have you
You
ever seen it
know,
on weed?
yeah, yes.
You seen that guy in the
Because
bushes? Blue 42, go team, go, go team.
kids are sitting on occasion like it's a great movie when you're high. It's like, oh, this is really good when you're high, So, yeah, I've seen that
Yep.
part.
Oh yeah, and then you get like the MacGyver smoker, which I think was a
Mhm.
Baldwin. Is that Billy Baldwin maybe?
Yes.
And he's like, I've made more with less, man. Like or less with
And I love
more.
the names that he had for his pirates. I can't remember the Billy Bob
Billy
Thornton
Bong
one.
Thornton, Wesley
Yes,
Pipes.
yes, Wesley Pipes is great, but they really cut out that shelf that will not so the Billy Bong Thornton could actually fit. It wasn't a set; it was actually an apartment. It had to be
Yeah,
for them. Yeah, so that was really good. And of course, Stephen Wright's being in there. Just wakes up on the couch one day. He's just there. No one knows who he
the
is.
guy on the couch. Yeah,
Yes, and
and
this
they're like, oh, I
happens in
thought he
other
was
movies
your
I've
boy,
seen.
Brian. Like,
Yeah,
nah.
no. And then yeah, he explains it all. He goes, "You are going to move out." He goes, "Hey, let's worry about now. Now, worry
Yeah,
about
don't
what's
don't
going
worry
now."
about me. I'll be
Yeah,
fine. Worry on the
yeah,
robbery. That's what's important
that's important.
now.
Yes, because he can go rob the thing on the Sunday, and that was funny. Like, hey, isn't that the janitor? Yep. Should I call the cops? Nope.
No, this is too good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, did you catch the fact that the Scarface forgot who Mr. Nice Guy was.
What do you mean?
So they named their company after Kenny, who was in
Right,
jail, who was
right.
a white dude. Scarface, when he got confronted by Samson and his
He was a
people,
Jamaican guy. Yeah.
correct. So in the movie, Scarface forgot that Mr. Nice Guy is Kenny, who's in jail, not some Jamaican dude.
Yeah, I don't think that he forgot. I just don't think he never put the two together, I'm guessing, because I don't think they called him
Maybe.
nice guy.
But
You
no, it
know,
was
he
just
just
because in the beginning they're like, oh, and we named the company after Brian or Kenny, Mr. Nice Guy. And
right.
then at the end, he was like, yeah, I always thought that Mr. Nice Guy sounded Jamaican. And
Yeah.
then even
So I
even
can
Thurgood looks at him like, you fucking stupid. Like, you
yeah,
know we
just
did this for
for him,
Kenny.
yeah.
Like,
That is true. And the oh Lord, it was just a really clusterfuck of a movie for the most part. It was like just random jokes that were strung together, by a storyline of a guy being in prison, which I did like how the guy in prison is being protected by Tommy Chong. I thought that was great.
mhm.
And the gentleman was trying to get to him or whatever,
Nasty Nate.
and Nasty Nate, yes. And
Did you
why does Nasty Nate have a calendar?
did you
Where did he
read
get
what
a
the
calendar of
calendar
Nasty Nate?
said?
It said Nasty Nate on it.
Yeah, but did you like zoom in or anything to see what the rest of it said? Like,
No, I'm not a freak or schizo like you.
well, let me tell you what it says. It says Nasty Nate, now serving consecutive life sentences and would love to do time with you. He's in for murder, armed robbery, and forced entry.
No, see that, but why is there a calendar of the man? And why do you have it in your room? But it was like I want to do something nice for you. Talking about Tommy Chong goes good because I get out on Thursday,
Yeah,
and then
you
he
got
turns and
11
looks at
days.
Nasty Nate, and Nate goes, "That was pretty good." Mhm.
Um, I found it very interesting when the cop said knapsack.
Mm,
I
yeah,
was like, is that really how some people say knapsack? Is it knapsack? Have I been, is everybody else saying it wrong, but he's been saying it right?
I think we've been saying it right. I think he's been saying it wrong. And do horses can a horse be diabetic?
Yeah, I'm sure they could. I'm sure anything can be diabetic.
And how stupid you gotta be to feed a horse or any animal all the food that you're supposed to bring back with you?
I don't know. That whole scenario was just kind of like so silly. And I found it was so funny because he was like, I love butter stuff. And the cop's like, butter cup.
Yeah, but yeah,
I love
that was
horses. I love horses.
I have to say I have to give him credit because they gave him a lot of random things to pick up, and it looks
Hmm.
like he picked it all up.
Yeah.
Like he knew what to pick up.
Uh,
So
when I've seen this movie so many times, when they were asking for everything, I was saying it along with it, like word for
yeah,
word. Um,
like how at the very end
the
he goes, he says, uh, Funyuns. It's like, yeah, yes. And then of course Dave Chappelle, which is the beginning and end booking of this part of the movie where he's like, "Oh no, we used to get it all the time. We used to eat it here all the time. Like, a pussy. I need to get, good. That was good." And of course, the very end, he kind of brings that back.
yep.
You know, he
Uh,
meets his girl. Oh, yeah, he has a girlfriend, Mary Jane. The name of his girlfriend he meets in prison. They both are in prison, come back visiting someone, and her name's Mary Jane. And I'm telling you right now, the interaction between him and her when they him off, when she
yeah.
drops him off, the two guys get out, they start talking, and he doesn't act like a really jerk or whatever, not jerk, but like a little smartass or funny part. That man got some charisma.
Hmm.
That was very charming. He was very smooth, if you will, I thought.
I think Dave Chappelle did an amazing job. One of my favorite cameos, there's two of them. When Thurgood visits the poet who is Janine Garofalo,
Yes.
and she's like, "Do you want to hear some of my poetry?" And he's like, "Not really." And then she's like, "You're going to." And then she says it, and at the very end he goes, "And you need therapy." And Willie Nelson.
Oh God, yes.
And the best quote line for it is like, "Man, I remember when a dime bag cost a dime." He's
Hmm.
like, "Do you remember, you know how much condoms cost back then?" And he's like, "Nah, I have no idea." He goes, "No, me either. We never used
We
them."
never used them. That was great.
Man, I remember when a dime bag cost a dime. You know what I mean? You know how much condoms used to cost back in them days?
How much?
I don't know. We never used them.
When I first heard that line when I was like 13, 14,
Yeah.
I just cracked up laughing. This movie was like, it came out right at that sweet spot because I think I was legit like 15 or no, 16. 16 when this movie came out. So I was like at that age of like this being right at the right kind of humor, which it was.
Well, I thought the Snoop Dogg's cameo was freaking excellent right before because he goes the guy that always just never
The
has
mooch.
his own smokes yours. He
Scavenger.
gets a
The
hit.
scavenger
Scavenger.
smoker.
He's like, and then here he
Man, I
goes.
even hit this
Damn,
shit
man,
yet.
I ain't even hit it yet. He smokes the whole damn thing. He's like, okay, I got to roll, man. Like that was it. That whole montage of those type of things are pretty wonderful, I thought.
Yeah, and again, it did a great job hitting every variation or type of smoker that's really kind of out there. Like, if you know anybody that smokes cannabis or marijuana or weed or whatever, you probably know a dude or a person that is very
Hmm.
similar to at least somebody in that reign. Um,
Yeah, because and some make it like their own. That's their personality, their identity. They smoke dope. I do like how like they're like I forgot what the conversation going on, but they showed each person that said pothead, 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 and then went to the dog pothead. Oh, I hate the fact they killed the dog.
yep.
That makes me
What'd you
unhappy.
think of Brian's story of what happened to
Yeah,
Killer?
yeah. Well, I think that I want to see that movie. I want to see the movie of Killer the dog. How he was,
How he killed his brother Nibbles?
yes, in a fight, and he was born to a three-legged bitch. You
Yep.
know,
He was
yep, yes.
ashamed of her.
Uh-huh. So and then he died. So yes, I want to see that movie. I did like his story. I was very creative.
All right, well, Jason and I waxed enough about this movie, so why don't we go ahead and find out what some other people think about it? So let's go ahead and get into the 5-star and 1-star or less reviews. The first 5-star review comes from Rad H. The reviews of this are downright diabolical. This movie is the best stoner film of all time. Funny as all hell from start to finish, and I don't even smoke anymore. Or any
Brad H,
less.
when did you put this review on here? Because I'm not a smoker and I don't like stoner movies. And Pineapple Express was a far superior movie than this one. So
Wow.
yeah,
Interesting.
I think so. Dave Chappelle was the best out of both movies. But oh, I did mean to say this. The booking of the movie, he gives up marijuana. He goes, I do love marijuana, but I love pussy more. And
Mm,
that was
but
like
not as much as I love pussy.
pussy, yeah. So that's what I should have said before we moved on to these stars. So adjust it if you like. Anyways,
I won't.
the first one, what
I said I won't.
the first 1 star less review comes from JPBS. Only half a dozen comical moments or less in the whole movie. Overall, pretty silly, juvenile behavior in a comedy that would probably be easier to take if you were half baked. Jim Brewer's character is probably the most annoying I've seen in a very long time. Pass this by unless you have absolutely nothing to do late at night.
That's just rude. Uh,
Uh,
I loved when this was on Comedy Central like all the time. It was one of the highlights of the early 90s or early 2000s, early aughts.
the early odds, yeah.
The next 5-star comes from Joey J. This is one of the best stoner movies ever made. They need to do a modern version with the original actors.
Kent, he gave up marijuana.
They could have split up. I wouldn't mind just seeing a reimagining of this movie.
Hmm.
Bring in new characters of like that could carry a movie like this. I'm
Yeah.
sure it could be adjusted.
I think it's hard to do movies like this now, especially with a lot of states making weed legal, so it's not such a taboo thing and funny stuff. So, but they could do
Yeah,
something. Maybe use with fentanyl, call it half dead.
that took a twist. Let's not do that. Let's not do a movie to
Hey,
celebrate
you ever
that.
suck dick for cocaine?
Huh? I seen him.
That was funny too. Bob Saget was right. The next one-star less review comes from Unknown. I love stoner movies, but this stoner movie is stone stupid.
You're stone stupid. The last 5 star comes from Unknown. Hands down, one of the best stoner movies of all time. If you don't smoke, you just won't get some of it. But if you do, you will laugh your butt off. Great, great movie. It's worth buying because you're going to want to watch this more than once. I would totally agree with that. I own this movie, and I have watched it more than probably other movies.
I think you have a certain mentality to agree with having to own it, watch it more than once. I think that mentality is you're a smoker of the ganja.
I
That's what
watched
I think.
this like what years before
You
I even touched this stuff.
you were 16 when it came out, you said. Did you not smoke in high school? I thought you swear to God you said you did.
Twice, three
Oh,
times.
okay. Silly, silly movie. Anyways, the last one-star less review comes from Unknown also. Dave Chappelle is damn near a comedic genius, and Brewer is no comedy slouch himself. But I only watched about 20 minutes of this movie, and I can tell it's not very good. As we said, you can't judge the movie unless you watch the whole thing.
No, you gotta start kick back off where you left off and go back and keep on surging. Uh, the WTF is from an unknown on December or October the 20th, 2008. It was a 3 star. This is not the first. I stayed awake through the whole thing. That's an endorsement.
That's fair. That is very fair. If you can stay awake through the whole thing, that's probably worth at least,
It's,
three stars. I
it's
get it.
worth 3 stars to stay awake during a movie.
Especially at home when you can do other things, you can get up. If you can watch a whole movie from start to end without pausing it, without getting up, whatever,
Yeah,
that's a good movie.
I agree. Well, we heard from some other people and what they thought about this movie. So let's go ahead and find out what Rotten Tomatoes and the audience scored this movie. The critics at Rotten Tomatoes scored this movie at 28%, while the folks you all at home rated this movie at 81%. I feel like I relate to the audience, and Jason's going to relate to the critics, just based
We're
off of
supposed to
his
be
facial cues.
critics. I
Hey, you can be critical of things you like.
I think the critics are a little mean about this, and I think the audience are overly excited. That's what I think.
I will tell you that this went down a percentage based off of some of the comments or the reviews because it was at 29% apparently at one time, and it's gone down to 28 in its
Oh wow.
time at Rotten Tomatoes. So, well, without further ado, let's go ahead and let Jason and I give our final review and rating of Half Baked. I will kick us off. First and foremost, I would absolutely recommend this movie to my surgeon. I find this movie very well done. I actually looked into the director of this film, and she directed a couple other movies, and I was surprised because there were like two of them I've seen, and I can't remember for the life of me what they were. Um, Golly, but we watched it. Um, this movie featured actors or comedians that were actually kind of really at the peak of their careers at these points. This is right before Dave Chappelle started the Chappelle Show, I think. He started that a few years later. Jim Brewer was pretty high up into his comedic stature at this point. Um, uh, Harlan Williams was also very popular at that time, probably not as high marquee. Unfortunately, I don't remember the other Scarface is the real actor's name. He's been in a couple of things, but his career didn't really launch off. And then you saw like Janine Garofalo and Jon Stewart, Willie Nelson, Snoop Dogg. Uh, I'm sure I'm missing some other ones. So great cameos. Uh, I found that the plan was orchestrated exactly how stoners would do it. Um, the fact that Thurgood told Brian and Scarface that he gave Mary Jane a pearl necklace, and Brian bought a bag of Jerry Garcia's ashes that he bought from Andy Garcia. And it's Andy Garcia's brother, who, whatever, and Scarface bought the used dog and doghouse, even though they're saying they had no money, and Brian calls him a liar. Um, there is a stump bump, even if Jason missed it. There is a nipple or a boob that pops out during the fight with Scarface. The girl's on top of him, and Samson covers his eyes because there's a woman's breast has been removed, and Brian says, and that's an official fully man. So what was originally 2.5 trees, 2 trees and a stump, is now a 3 tree movie for me.
My turn, assholes.
Okay, that was a long wrap up for you.
A little bit, yeah. I tried to.
That's okay. Hey, it's our show. We do with it what we want. I would not recommend it to my surgeon. I don't think I'd recommend most stoner movies to my surgeon. I just don't think it's a. Cause I'd be worried that if he liked it, maybe he's going to get stoned before he operates on me, and I don't want that kind of person. But anyways, I really did enjoy Dave Chappelle. I thought he was great in the movie. I thought the writing. I mean, they just did it to make money, right? Obviously, it's not going to be Academy Awards, so they just had a very weak storyline to put it all together. They didn't finish up some of the storylines. They just like the guy got out of prison, but the thing that happened with Nasty Nate and Tommy Chong's like that just kind of died off. Like so he gets out, but did he get out in time? We don't know. Um, it seemed kind of random in spots, which I liked, but it seemed like it jumped a lot. It was kind of messy when it came to its timeline because I have no idea how long I was in prison. I have no idea how long it was from the time that they started selling the drugs. So Samson called them, and just some weird things. The police being involved when they were involved and getting high in the vehicle because the smoke was still there because they weren't smoking it. I don't remember anyways. So just some really weird stuff. It was a short movie. I enjoyed the movie. I smiled. I laughed. I can't really complain about it. I don't remember the booby, but I remember the butts, and the butts still count as a stump bump either way. So I still give it the stump bump. So with the stump bump and all the wonderful Dave Chappelle comedy and charming that he is, and I did enjoy it. I still will give it with the stump bump, 2 trees and a stump.
Not too far off. I had it at 3. My good friend here had it 2 trees and the stump. Would love to see what you all thought of this wonderful movie. As some of the reviewers call this is a cult classic. I would probably wager that it would follow the guidelines of it, especially with the huge obscure from the critics and the audience. But again, you let us all know what you think there at home. Until next time, we'll see you here on Trees in Space Show. I've been Nate. That's been Jason. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful time. Take care.